Hello everybody and welcome back, and right now let us actually start off by coding the part of persistence of our backdoor. So first thing we want to do is import two libraries into our reverse shell. The first library is actually the OS library, so we already used it before. As I showed you in the Python basics, if you want to clear your screen, for example, you need to import the OS library. So just go to the upper part of your reverse shell.py program and import OS. The next thing you want to import is import shuttle. Now this is the library where we will use the function which allows us to self-copy the file that we are running into a different directory. So that is also something that we want to import. And the third thing you want to import is the sys library. So import sys. Now we will need the sys library in order to use the shuttle.copy file function and in order to copy our file into the different executable. Now I'll show you what I mean, so just for now on import these three libraries and let us scroll down to the beginning of our program. Now where you want to code this is right at the beginning of it, so we want to perform this type of the self-copying file and creating registry key even before we actually perform the connection function. So what we want to do is make a variable called location for now on. So location equals, what we will do right now is we will set up a location where to self-copy or to basically make a copy of our backdoor to which directory. So we will use the app data directory. The reason why we are using the app data, or however you want to call it, directory, is because it is a hidden directory that most of the users can't even find. So in order for you to go to it, you just basically open your command prompt, make sure you're on your account, don't be on desktop or somewhere like that, just back out to your account directory, and then you can just cd to app data, and there you have three other directories, which is local, local low, and roaming. Now we will be copying our file into the roaming directory, which is also a hidden directory. Oops. So cd roaming, and right here we will have our file. So this is the directory. Let me just show you a little bit better, where we will be copying the file. So this will be our location of our copied backdoor. So let us start coding that. Now the OS library allows us to actually specify this path on any PC we run this. So this means that, for example, you will not know how your target account is called, so you will not be able to actually specify the path itself into your code. You will need to specify the function which allows us to actually change that part of the account on any PC that we run this on. Now what I mean by that is that whoever runs this on their Windows PC, we will be able to execute this function, since the os.environ and then open brackets app data will itself bring us back the path to that folder, to that roaming folder. So all we have to do right now for the location is we want to add the name of our file. Now you do not need to name the file the same as the file that you will compile. Let me just find this type of slash, so not the backward slash. You want to slash the forward. You want to use the forward slash. Type 2 slashes, and then you will type the name of your file. You can name it anything you want, so we can name it backdoor, so we know that it is our backdoor. Of course, if you're running this on a real target, don't name it backdoor. It will be too obvious, and all you have to do is add .exe. Now this file right here, once you close the double quotes, will create a location, or basically we'll pass a path to the location of roaming with our backdoor.exe. So after we copy, if we type there in the same directory that we typed there before, we will have backdoor.exe in this directory right here. And you will also have the backdoor.exe in your directory right here, just this path right here will be different. This will be the name of your Windows 10 account. But everything else will be the same. So right now that we created the location, we want to actually perform the copying of our file. So how we do that? We actually do that with the shuttle. So shuttle dot copy file, and let me just make a space so you can actually separate this part of code from this. So shuttle.copy file is the function that we will use, and what we will use is sys.executable, comma, location. This function right here will perform the copying of our executable, which is our reverse shell, to the location that we specified under this name. So for example, if our executable after we compile it is called reverse.exe and they run it, put it on desktop and run it, it will make a copy right away of that same program to the app data roaming folder with the name backdoor.exe. And only after that it will perform the connection. So what we want to do right after this is basically perform the creation of the registry key for our file, so it can actually be run every time the user starts their computer and logs into their Windows user account. So we will use a subprocess library that we already imported, since we can see right here that we use the subprocess library for a different type of thing. Right now we want to type here subprocess.call, and we want to call the command that will actually make a registry key. Now this is the command that you can run in the command prompt, so we will specify the same command to the same path where we want to store our registry key. So we want to type here reg add. Now what I'm typing right here is basically just the syntax for adding the registry key, so just follow up with me. So reg add HKCU. Now this HKCU basically stands for this H key current user. So we are specifying the path right now, so we want to type a / and then software. I believe, first of all, it is software, right? So H key, software, and then Microsoft, so /Microsoft, / Microsoft, and then / once again. And let's see what's next. So after the Microsoft, the next thing is Windows. And then after the Windows, we want to specify the current version. So /Windows and then / current version. And then I believe the next one will be run. So all we have to specify is one more, which is the run folder right here, where we will store our registry key. So /run. And right after that, what we want to do is perform the backward slash. So v, this will be the name of our registry key. We can name it backdoor as well. So let's name it backdoor. This is the type, so reg_cz, as we can see right here. This is what we specify with the name of the registry key. So we will have a backdoor name right here, and the type will be the same as other types as well. So registry_sz. And right now what we want to specify afterwards is the data part, or basically the part where we specify the path to our backdoor that we self-copied into the app data roaming folder. So let us do that as well. We have to do it with the /d command, and then what we want to specify is actually the double quotes. Why we are specifying the double quotes is because right now we will add a string to this command. If we specify just a single quote, it will make already our string, it will already close up our first apostrophe right here, so we do not want to do that. We want to add the double quotes right now, and then a single quote which will close this apostrophe. Then we want to add a plus, location, which is the location of our path, so location, and then plus, single quote, double quote, and then single quote. What we did with this is basically, right here, as you can see, we had to use a mixture of the single and double quotes in order to specify the command correctly. So all we have to do right now is type here comma and then shell equals true. Close our brackets, and that should be it. Now shell equals true is the same as in this part right here, so we can see we also use the same subprocess library. And right now, if we run this on target PC, it should create a registry key called backdoor with the type reg_sz with the location to the backdoor.exe file that we copied in our app data folder. So there is another thing that we need to do before we actually compile this and run it. What we want to do is actually test if this location already exists. So for example, let's say you run this a first time on target PC and they create, and then all the part of this code happens. So we copy the file to the app data and then we add the registry key. But let's say they restart the PC once again and they will perform the same function once again. So they will add another registry key, they will perform the same part right here with copying the file. We do not want to do that. We want to only do that the first time they run the program. There is really no point in doing this once again after every reboot and after every time they run the program. So what we want to do is, after the specifying of the location, since this is a variable, we do not need to put it right here. We will use something called if not. Now if not is basically same as if, just right now we will specify if this path right here doesn't exist. This means that the program is being run for the first time. Since if this path exists, that means that the program has already been run before and the program has executed these two functions since this path does exist. But if it doesn't exist, which we will check with the function os.path.exists, and then we want to specify what path, which is the location path. Whoops. And then we put the two dots right here. And then if the path doesn't exist, it means we're running it for the first time. So we want to perform the copying to the app data folder and we want to perform the adding of our registry key. If it does exist, it will just skip this code right here and it will go straight to the creation of socket and then performing the connection. So let's see how this will work if we just save this right now. Ctrl-O to save, enter, Ctrl-X to exit, and let's perform the compilation once again. Let me just find the command from the previous video. Here it is. So wine root and then the path to the PyInstaller reverseshell.py, one file and no console. I click here enter so we can compile our program. We wait for the compilation to finish, and then after it finishes we will copy it once again. So let's add our USB drive. I first have to delete the previous reverse shell from this folder, so let me just delete this right here. So I have to open in terminal and I will remove the reverseshell.exe from the previous video. Good, so right now I can close this as well. Right now we want to go to our this directory right here. Oops. And we want to move as usual our reverseshell.exe to media, root, and then the name of your USB drive. We copy it there and then we can delete all of the unnecessary things, so such as dist, build, and spec. So what we want to do right now is the same as before. So unplug the USB drive, open it on your Windows machine, paste the reverse shell onto the desktop, and then run the reverse shell. Now, right now you can see that it is running the reverse shell, so everything went good. Now we can start up our server and listen for the incoming connections. Now, since we know that our reverse shell tries to connect every 20 seconds, we should be good to go in about 20 seconds or less. As we can see, we already performed the connection and everything looks the same, but right now what we want to check is if the self-copying of the file worked, and also if we successfully created the registry key for that file. So right now, if I go to the command prompt, we can see I'm still in the same directory. There is no backdoor.exe right here since I ran this dir command before actually running the program. And if I type dir once again right here, right now you will see we have a new file in here called backdoor.exe, which is the same size as our reverse shell. Since it is the same file, we just copied it into this directory. But also we want to make sure that the registry key is successfully created for this path right here. So if we go right here, press F5 to refresh, we can see a new registry key has been added, which is called backdoor, which is points to the path of the user's app data roaming and then backdoor.exe. So right now we know that this works successfully. Now every time the user reboots their machine, their backdoor will run at the startup or at the login of their account, and they will perform the connection every 20 seconds. So this means that we can successfully connect to their PC whenever we want, after as many times as they reboot the file. So right now, if they, for example, let's quit this, and if they, for example, even delete this reverse shell right here, which for some reason once again doesn't want to delete, so we will have to fix that as well. So let us close it in our task manager. They, for example, notice that this reverse shell didn't open anything and they think this is a broken program. They delete it right here and then they think they're good to go. So, but we know that we still have the backdoor.exe in our roaming folder and that we also have the registry key for it to run at the startup. So now we will be able to connect even after they reboot and delete the file. So that would be about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.